It's late. I know, it's late. I'm sorry. There's people going to be out there like, Joe, what are you doing? What are you doing a prediction? There's been 2 games played already and it's almost the 3rd game. Just calm down. It's okay. There's plenty of predictions out there, but I just wanted to get mine on record so that at the end of the season I could just laugh about how wrong it was. If you have a pelvis, like the video, please. Even if you don't like the video. If you've got a pelvis, you got to like it, or else... First of all, guys, just want to show you this little thing, yeah? So I got contacted by Nostalgia Cases, and they do these little swanky little phone cases with a retro kit sort of template on the back. Not only Blues ones, they do all sorts of clubs. And if there's a kit that we have that they don't currently have in stock, you can actually request it, request the year, and whether it's the home or away strip, and they'll make it for you. So, guys, if you want to use that, there's a 10% discount code, which is just Brummie Joe, all caps. The link is down in the description. If you use that link, they'll know that I sent you. So, let's get on with the video anyway, and I'm going to tell you why it took me so long to make this video. I only have a short window of time where I can edit videos on an evening, and this requires a lot of photoshopping, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I have to get the photoshopping right, but I got it done, alright? I got the photoshopping done, so we're doing the video. We're going to get started. Two to the 3 and 4. One time, one on the baseline. Focus. There's your league table. As you can notice, it's quite empty at the minute, isn't it? You know why? It's because I haven't started. I mean, my last predictions video got a lot of dislikes. Mate, just because I said you're going to finish 15th, don't mean you're gonna. Alright, so put your comment down. We'll have a little debate. We'll have a discussion. But why you got to dislike the video for? Come on, man. This is like what I'm... Come on. Help a guy out. Anyway, number 24 was because I'm lazy. If you are a Rotherham fan, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But you've got nothing to lose because everyone's predicting that you're going to finish last. So, you know what I mean? They saw what happened last time. They saw you with the whipping boys. The absolute whipping boys of the league. I don't think it's going to be quite the same this year. I think you will put up more of a fight. But I just think it's a very tough league. Teams that came back up other than you have the experience as well. And I just don't see you finishing anywhere above bottom. But, you know, fair play on getting promoted. And again, you can prove us all wrong. There's no reason why you can't be a dark horse. As I say, you beat Ipswich. But I'm not going to change my prediction because this is what I thought it was going to be before the games were played. Alright? So, bottom for Rotherham. Next up at number 23, we have QPR. Now, QPR are in a little bit of financial trouble at the minute. They've just been hit with a massive fine. And they've been sort of in decline ever since that, you know, when they spent all that money. The Tarap days. And it's getting worse and worse. They're having to shift more players. And now, I can't see them surviving this year. They finished 16th last season, which was pretty okay. But I think they're going to fall down again. And I've predicted them in the bottom 3. Why, I'm going to touch on in a minute after I've stated the 3rd and final relegation team. Number 22, we have got Reading. Similar situation. You know, you look at them a couple of years ago, they were a penalty, basically. 1 or 2 penalties away from being promoted to the Premier League. And they've slipped and fallen. It's just, I don't think it's going to happen for them. Even though they knocked us out of the cup, fair enough. But, you know, we did have a young squad. They've got some okay players. You know, they've got a good manager as well. But the reason I'm putting Reading and QPR down there, which are probably both a bit of a surprise package, is just because I think Blackburn and Wigan are going to be really up for it this season. I can just see them being up for it. You know, they're coming up and it's going to be like one of them, like, you know, in the Premier League, or, you know, last year, when you had your Millwalls, your Sheffield United, they come up and they're reinvigorated and they're ready to go. And there's some teams that are just sort of dying slowly. And I see Reading and QPR as them teams. I mean, I'm probably massively wrong, but that is just my opinion. Next up, 21, Blackburn. Blackburn, I think they're going to not have the best season, but all in all, they want to stay up, and I think they're gonna. You know, I think the signings of Casey Palmer and Adam Armstrong are going to be really good for Blackburn, and I think Casey Palmer might be one of the keys to them staying up. Like, what a deal. What a deal. I mean, he was at Derby last season, and he's gone to Blackburn. I would have bit your hand off for Casey Palmer, genuinely. You know, but Blackburn got him, and fair play. Honestly, fair play. That's why I can't see them going down. They've got a solid team already. They've got momentum going into the league, and they've made a couple of additions. Not too many. I think it's going to be tight, but I think they've got enough to stay up. Next up, we've got Ipswich, and I think it's going to be a tough season for Ipswich. You know, Mick McCarthy's gone. It's a season of transition for them. I don't know if Paul Hurst is going to try and bring a different style of play. I haven't actually seen them in the highlights, and to be honest, that's what I haven't bothered watching highlights just because I don't want the first 2 games to influence me too much. So yeah, I mean, Paul Hurst, he really puts his faith in the lower leagues. Now, these can either be gems or flops. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to do enough to stay up, but nothing more than that. They haven't got a special squad. You know, I think the loss of Martin Waghorn is going to be a big one for them. He really did play well from last season, but again, I don't think they're going to do too bad. It's going to be Paul Hurst setting up the squad, getting them used to each other, getting the new boys involved, and then maybe the season after having a better finish than that. But yeah, I think it's a sort of sustainable model that Ipswich are implementing at the minute. And fair play to them. I just don't think they're going to do too well or too badly. So next up, we've got Wigan. Wigan have made a few good signings actually, which is why I haven't put them in the bottom 3. I think they're going to do okay. Paul Cook has been quite active in the transfer market, securing a few good deals. They sold Dan Burn to Brighton, but as part of the deal, they were able to loan him back immediately, which is good. They've still got him, which is a big one, because sometimes, you know, you lose a big player, a player that's been so influential, you know, it can affect you. Will the fact that he's now part of another team and back on loan, will it affect him? I don't know. You know, is that leadership still going to be there? It's yet to be seen. I think it won't affect him too much. Josh Windass from Rangers, I think he's quite a good signing also for a championship team. It's a good chance for him to prove himself in the championship. 19th is quite a high place to put Wigan, you might think, but you know, there's always a team that does a bit better than expected, and I'm rooting for Wigan a little bit this year. You know, shoot me. Well, don't actually shoot me, please, you know, because I'm trying to do the video. In 18th place, we've got Bolton. I think they've improved in the key areas that they needed to. I know they needed a left-back. Jonathan Grounds has now come in for them on loan from Birmingham City, and he is reliable, mate. He's just your reliable reliable Ronnie. He's a reliable Ron. Alright, he's just one of these players that will always put in a consistent shift. He'll never be amazing, and he'll never be terrible, really. He did get a lot of stick from us at one point, but he really proved himself through whatever austerity we're going through. He'll put 100% into the game. You know, for Bolton, I think it's a great signing at left back. You know, we might be overhyping him a little bit, but we just like him. We just like him. You know, Josh McGuinness has impressed in his first couple of games. He looks the real deal. And, you know, they've got to fill that Medine-shaped hole that they've got. And McGuinness could be that man, honestly. With what he's shown so far, why not? One of the massive signings for Bolton, which I was absolutely surprised with, is Oztema. Genuinely, I mean, there were so many championship clubs after him. Blues were after him before the whole embargo situation, and I thought we're not good enough for him. You know, I think he's going to go to a higher up team in the league. He goes to Bolton though. Like, what a signing for them. I mean, he's already scored for him in the cup. I don't know if he's scored in the league yet, but he scored a good goal in the cup. This guy did wonders in League One, and you know, he's going to score a few goals for Bolton this season, I tell you. Easy. Another one, Jason Lowe. He's just a useful player from Blues. They've got a lot of cheap, free players, loans in to fill these gaps. And they've got a lot of depth to their squad. And I'm quite envious of the depth they have. So I think they can have a good season. And that's why I've got them finishing 18th place. I think they'd take that after, you know, surviving on the final day last season. I certainly would. But next up, we've got 17th place, Birmingham City. It's realistic, you know. I know I've got a lot of Blues fans on this YouTube channel, and you might not be happy with 17th, but I think if we can have a season where we're not really fighting relegation, like we're not really battling like we were last season and leaving it to the final day, I'll say it's a successful season, because we haven't had money to spend, we've not got depth, and our goalkeeper situation currently is dire. No matter how you say it, no matter what you put around it, our goalie situation is dire. But we've got Gary Monk, and as long as we keep him and he doesn't walk or we randomly sack him for no reason like we usually do with managers, you know, I think we'll be okay. We're going to have good spells and bad spells. And all, in the end, we'll be mid-table, sort of lower mid-table, but no worries, genuinely. And I'll be massively happy with that. And hopefully, over the course of the season, we'll develop some young players, like Viv Solomon Abar, like Charlie Lakin, like Bez Lubala, etc. And we'll be able to push on next season. Maybe the restrictions will be a bit loosened and we'll be able to sign a bit here and there. But hey, I'll take mid-table mediocrity all day. All day. Quickly touching on our signings, I think Conor Mahoney is a great loan signing. He's looked good at the start of the season. I think he's going to do well for us. I think he'll be more influential, more impactful than Boga was last season. He seems more eager to drive, and instead of cutting and then turning back, he wants to push through and he wants to take shots on goal. So I can see him getting a few goals this season. Also, I think a lot of people who aren't Blues fans forget this, but Isaac Vassell is coming back from an injury, and if he hits the form that we know he can, he's going to score goals. He will score goals. So although we might be a bit leaky in defence, I think we're going to be able to score some goals. We've got Omar Bogle as well on loan from Cardiff, who is a great signing considering we can't really spend any money. And I think we've got one more we can bring in. Obviously, we've just released Sheikh and Doyd. Well, we've loaned him to his former club, Angers, and he's gone now. But we are currently lacking depth in centre mid. I think we'll sign one, and I think we'll be okay. I'll take mid-table. I'll take it. Next up, we've got Hull, and a lot of people have put Hull a bit lower down than this. They've sold Abel Hernandez. They've not really made many signings, and they just don't look like a team that's going to do well. But I just don't want it to be too predictable. Sometimes you have a feeling about a team. I think Nigel Adkins will do okay with them. He'll get them organised, hard to beat, and it's about that home form. Just make the home stadium a fortress. I think they're going to be okay, but I could be massively wrong. I'm already starting to have doubts about this one, to be honest. But I've put it in. I've put it in now. And it's remaining there, okay? It's remaining there. 16th. Now next, 15th place is Sheffield Wednesday. There's been news coming out this week that their transfer embargo will be removed, allowing them to make a couple of signings. Even if there are loans, etc., the loans are likely to be able to be made permanent in January. So there is a way out for Sheffield. They can still make signings. That's why I've got them in 15th. I don't know if they have made any signings. I know they've loaned Jordan Rhodes out, but I think they do have time to bring players in. They have a good squad. This manager for Sheffield Wednesday has a lot of experience in the German divisions with good teams, which means, listen, for me, he's going to make them compact, work very hard for the club. He's had success. He's been managing in the German leagues, and I think he's going to be able to make them a real compact, hard-working team, hard to beat, physical. So we're going to have to see. I think 15th is pretty fair for him. Now, number 14, we have got Millwall. Now, Neil Harris's side finished 8th last season. I think they're still going to do well, but not as well, right? I think 14th, mid-table, is going to be fair for Millwall, and I think they'll probably be happy with that. They've brought in Yuri Skalak from Brighton, which is a decent signing. They've also got Ben Amos from Bolton, a good goalkeeper, and I would have had him. I would have loved to have him at Blues. But yeah, I think Millwall are really going to make the Den their fortress again, and it's going to be really difficult to play them at their own ground. Again, I think it's very hard when you have a successful season. It's very hard to replicate that again. Some of the players are aging as well. I can't see them doing what they did last year. We all wanted them to get in the playoffs, but they couldn't quite make it. But mid-table for Millwall. Now, in 13th place, I've got Bristol City. I think they're going to have an okay season again, but the loss of Aidan Flint and Joe Bryan will hurt them defensively. They've replaced them, but, are they going to be as good? The fact is, no. Aidan Flint got them, I think, 10 goals. Was it 9 goals and 10 assists? He got them a lot of goals last season, all right, Aidan Flint. And assists. And they're going to miss them. Bobby Reid going as well. It's going to be very hard to replace these players. I think Mo Isat is a great signing, but it might take him a season to sort of get up to the standards of the Championship. I'm not sure yet, but he could come good. Is he going to be as good as Bobby Reid straight away, though? The answer is no. I think Andre Weimann is a great signing for that club as well. So, again, it's why I've got him 13th, pretty much bang in the middle of the table. I just think they're not going to do as well. They've lost some players. They've made some money. But at the end of the day, I don't think they've replaced the players that they've lost. with players of similar quality. Obviously, for Joe Bryan, they've replaced him with Jada Silva. They're all good players, but are they at the peak of their potential? No. In 12th, we've got Sheffield United. Again, it's a lower position than last season. They finished 10th last season. My main reason, they've lost Clayton Donaldson. Nah. Again, it's similar to Millwall. I think it's going to be tough for them to replicate that with how competitive the league has got now. I think it just keeps getting more and more competitive. So I think 12th would be a good finish for them. Oliver Norwood, an amazing signing for them. We would have loved him. I think he was an absolute bargain. They've signed John Egan from Brentford, another great signing as well. And another one that stands out is Ben Woodburn, like a great loan signing to have in your team. A promising player. I think he's going to do really well this season. But again, I just think that the competition is so strong this year. Now, in 11th place, as we go towards the top half of the table, we've got Brentford. Again, it's not as good as their finish last season, but they have lost more players. But, you know, they've got a good manager. They've signed players that aren't massively known, but Brentford have a really good thing about them. They have a great way of getting players that aren't too well known and making them into quality players and ended up making money off them, right? Now, I like the way that Brentford operate, and I think that's why they're going to do well this season. Again, there's too much quality in the league for me to believe that they can finish higher than 11th, but I could be massively wrong. I think it's a fair position for them, and again, I think they're just a well-organised side, a well-oiled machine, which is why I think they're going to do okay. You could say they've lost their captain, it's going to be difficult for them, but they lost Harley Dean the year before that, and they coped. They coped, didn't they? So they did well. Up at number 10, I have Daniel Farke's Norwich. Now, a lot of people might see them finishing lower than that. They might see them finishing sort of mid-table. But Tim Krul on a free transfer is an amazing signing, and I'm just absolutely jealous that we couldn't get him. You know, Farke is really good at getting these players from Germany as well, bringing them in and letting them play well. Ariel Hernandez, again, didn't have a great season last time, but he looks like he's sort of found his form. He's done well, scored 2 goals against us. The likes of Mo Liner as well. I think they're going to be quite good this season. It's a season of sort of quiet expectation. People are doubting them. I see that. But I think 10th would be a good finish for them. It's an improvement on last season. They finished 14th, go to 10th, keep going. Maybe next season, maybe then they can get playoffs or something like that. But, you know, I think they're gonna continually improve, but they're not good enough for playoffs at the minute. At 9th place, we've got Preston. I think they're going to be a bit of a surprise package this season. You know, the signings they've made aren't spectacular. You've got the likes of Ryan Ledson, Michael Crowe. But another one, the Man City youth player, Brandon Barker, can do well this season. But again, they're another one of these teams that are just well-oiled. They got a good manager, you know, Alex Neil. And I genuinely think he's going to do well with them. You know, it's down on their position from last season, but with how competitive the league's got, I think it's still a very good finish for Preston North End for the amount of money they've spent as well. We're getting closer to the top now. We're getting closer, eh? We're getting a little bit close, getting a bit exciting. Is your team being called yet? If it's not, then Right, number 8, we've got Derby County, and they're an interesting one. We've got Frank Lampard, who is an inexperienced manager, but a legend, which has allowed him to bring in these players. They've had a really good transfer window. I weren't expecting them to have this good of a transfer window, but I think the pull of Frank Lampard has helped. You know, just his name alone, players want to play for him. You know, that's helped the likes of Martin Waghorn and Jack Marriott join. They've signed Joseph Soon from Brentford. I don't know if I said that. I said that with an accent. And I tell you what, Tom Lawrence looks very good this season as well. He looks like he's stepping up another level. The reason I don't have him in the playoffs is because I just don't think they're going to be able to keep it up, really, consistently for over the course of a season. It could go either way with Derby. They could finish absolutely anywhere. I have no idea. They've got a lot of youngsters on loan from Chelsea, obviously due to Frank Lampard's connections. And I think he's got his tactics right. He started off well with the 2-1 win, late goal. I just don't think they're good enough for the playoffs at the minute. But I think they're going to be an exciting team to watch. So keep an eye on them. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Frank Lampard's team does this season. It's just, I mean, they could get in the playoffs. They could. Now, 7th place, I have got Aston Villa. Now, Villa fans, don't get wound up because last season I predicted that you'd finish 3rd. And You finished fourth. You could have finished lower than that because it looked like you weren't going to finish fourth for a while, right? So I'm being realistic here. You know, you've not got the same team that you did last season. I think you're going to be quite reliant on Jonathan Kodjia. He seems quite injury prone now. Like if he gets an injury, it's going to be difficult for you to score goals. You've kept Jack Grealish, which is why I've got you up at 7th. Above a number of good teams. I think he's going to be good for you. Is he going to go in January though? I don't, that could have an effect. There's every chance he could go in January. But other than that, I think Robert Snodgrass was massive for you last season, and not having him in the squad, the amount of assists and goals he got, it's going to be tough for you. You've got young players coming through, but I just think, as I say, it's more competitive this year. And I just think you're going to miss out just about. I could be wrong, and Villa could easily get in the playoffs because I think John McGinn, huge signing for them in midfield. McGinn was a player that Blues were linked with for a while before the whole embargo thing kicked off. And again, Nyland, the goalkeeper from Ingolstadt as well. And it's just a shame that Villa have gotten. Moreira from Atletico Madrid as well is a decent keeper. They've got 2 good keepers there. And we're here with Lee Camp and Conal Truman. I think John Terry's going to be a big loss as well in terms of leadership in the dressing room. But I think the fact that they've kept hold of Steve Bruce is good for them, which is why I've got them up in 7th. I think if they'd have gone for Thierry Henry, which they were linked with, I'd probably had them lower down. I'd probably have them about 10th if they did that. It could depend a lot on Jonathan Kodjia's form and fitness. So we'll have to see. On to number 6. West Bromwich Albion. Now, I put West Brom at number 6. They've not had the best start to the season, of course, but I can really see them being up there. I don't think they're going to be up in the top 2, but I think they're going to have an okay season. Sam Johnson, great signing in goal, had a good season at Villa last season, and, West Brom signing on a permanent. It's a good replacement for Ben Foster, and they're going to be sorted in that department because he's quality. Kyle Bartley's going to be good from Dwight Gale. That's going to be a big signing for them, definitely. Rondon going the other way, of course. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to take a bit of time to ease themselves into it, but I think they can get top 6. Just now, 5th place, I have got Nottingham Forest. They're doing the Wolves, aren't they? They're trying to do Wolves. Now, I was debating in my head whether it might take them a season to get used to things like it did with Wolves. But, I thought with Forest it might take them a season like it did with Wolves. But, the signings they've made, Michael Dawson, strong in defence, proper championship player. They've got Lewis Graben, prolific, could be top goal scorer in the league potentially. I think they could do okay. And then they've also brought in, obviously, your Portuguese players, the João Carvalhos for 13.5 million or whatever. Are they going to hit the ground running in the Championship? I don't know. I don't think they have yet. But give them a bit of time, they're going to be up there. I think 5th place is okay for them. I think a lot of people are predicting them in the top 2. I wouldn't put them that high up, just because I think it will take them time to ease in. They're already taking time to ease in. But definitely in the playoffs. Will they win it though? Wait and see. Number 4. I have put Swansea there. Now, we're playing Swansea tomorrow. But I think they've got a good team. They've got a lot of players still from that Premier League squad. They've got a lot of experience in that team. And Graham Potter is a good manager. I trust Graham Potter to do well with Swansea. Bersan Shalina, great player. I think he's going to do well this season. Asoro could be a breakthrough season for him potentially. They've still got the likes of Wilfred Bonney, Leroy Fur, Tom Carroll. I mean, this is real quality, and you're going to see it come through. Genuinely, they've got a very, very good team for the Championship, and they do want to give it a go. I just don't think they're going to be top 2. Again, playoffs, I think, is a fair place to put them. Number 3, the last of the playoff places, is Middlesbrough. Now, we played Middlesbrough, so I've seen them play. I think they're a very, very physical side. They're a big side, and I think Britta Sambalonga is going to be up there trying to get the golden boot. It could be him. If he's on his game, then easily. I think they're very dangerous from set pieces, right? And Middlesbrough, they're a proper Championship club. The way they were playing, they're a big team. They're really, really hard to play against. They weren't playing at their best when they were playing us either. You can tell that. But still, they could have put 3 goals past us. They could have put 4. The post saved us 3 times. Genuinely, I think Aidan Flint is a massive signing for them. I thought he was going to go Premier League, but he didn't. He's gone to Middlesbrough, and he's going to get them, again, a lot of goals and assists from defence, from those set pieces, which are going to just add up into points. So yeah, I really do see him doing well this season. I just don't think they're quite there to get top 2. It's really tight and it's really hard to decide. I just don't think they're quite there. Number 2, I've got Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds. Now, I've been pondering it because I did not know whether to put Middlesbrough second and Leeds third, or vice versa. I was speaking to my mate Ali, who is a Leeds fan as well, and he's telling me, you know, what about when things go wrong? What about when they are 1-0 down away? It's tough. The players need a real kick up the backside. The language barrier, is it going to cause trouble? You know, and I think it might, but over the course of a season, you know, I think he's trying to learn English. Bless him. He's doing that interview, I don't know if you've seen the interview, but that was absolutely atrocious. But he's trying, and he is an expert. He's got high praise from so many people like Pep Guardiola, Pochettino, for a good reason. He's a master tactician, and the way Leeds are playing currently, I mean, you might give him the top spot, but the only reason I haven't is because of that potential issue with the language barrier, potential when you are losing, when you are behind against those tough teams. So we're going to have to see with Leeds. I think Patrick Bamford was a good signing. Whether he's going to make a big impact is yet to be seen. I don't think it's like a prolific signing, but Kemar Roofe and him are going to have this competition now, and just that, having someone there breathing down your neck is going to push players on also. You know, the way they pass the ball, the way they move the ball with ease, I just think they're going to do well this season. They had a good squad last year, just didn't quite work, but now I think they've got the management team behind them to really bring the best out of those players. So definitely second for Leeds. Now that leaves one team and one team only, and that is Stoke City. It's Gary Rowett's Stoke. Again, not at the best starts, but their team has to go in the top 2 or finish first, or it's an absolute travesty, and Rowett will be seen as a fraud, because the team that they have got should be getting out of the Championship with ease. You know, I know it's not an easy league. But when you've got Benny Kofobe up front, you've got Joe Allen in the middle of the park for you. You've got Ashley Williams at centre back, Jack Butland in goal. It's a Premier League team, mate. I don't care what you say. It's a Premier League team, and if they don't finish, you know, at the end of the day, Rowett is a good manager. I mean, he knows what he's doing. So they've got to finish first. Etebo had a good World Cup as well for Nigeria. They've got him in the middle of the park as well. They have so many names, and I keep seeing them linked with more and more. I mean, they're just like the spoiled kid that gets bought everything, and I'm sat here like just jealous. I'm just jealous, mate. Tom Ince as well. The money that's been spent is ridiculous, and if they don't go up automatically, Gary Rowett is going to look like an absolute idiot. But I think they will. They just have to. And it's going to be a tough one. That Stoke away, cold, rainy night in Stoke is going to be so much worse when you've got that team to face. A Premier League team. There's no two ways about it. Finally, my winner for the playoffs is Middlesbrough. As I say, I mentioned them earlier. They're a good team. I think there are other good teams in that. But I think, you know, Middlesbrough missed out last season with the playoffs. But I think they've got that extra bit of quality, especially in defence, and especially the aerial dominance at set pieces. I think it can nick it for them in the playoffs. So my three to go up are Stoke, Leeds, Middlesbrough, and my three to go down are Reading, QPR, and Rotherham. Let me know if you agree down in the comments. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. It's taken ages to make. It's taken ages, but we've done it, guys. We have done it. So if you smash that like button, it would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you are new, and we will revisit these. Let me know as well your predictions down below, and if anyone gets them bang on right, then you deserve a house or something like that. But yeah, guys, I will see you in the next one, which will be the Swansea home vlog. I hope you do enjoy. Keep right on. And I'll see you next time. If you aren't a Birmingham City fan, there's going to be lots of FIFA content coming out when FIFA 19 drops. And also, we're going to have the Fortnite streams back, the FIFA streams back as well. So stick around. There's a lot to come on this channel. I hope you do enjoy. And I'll catch you next time. you.